Hello, welcome back. Wasn't sure if my microphone was working earlier, but I'm using a new OBS system on here. So last thing I showed you was installing Chrome on the computer itself. So this time what I'm going to show you is changing settings in Chrome after you install it, as well as afterwards I will show you how to perform the Windows updates, which is actually not difficult. So on your Windows computer itself, there's Windows 10 Pro, which I have activated already. This is Chrome right here. You'll see these three dots. You click on those, and then you can select the settings near the bottom. And with that, since you only have three buttons here to far left, but you want to add a home button, so you can do a search for home. And you'll see how this changes. To show the home, you just activate the switch for it. If you actually want your bookmarks to show, there's a bookmark bar you can also activate. Now you got bookmark bars, you can actually add favorites. Now if I click home, finally showing here, it'll take me back to the Google home page. And then I can actually even go to a Gmail. As this goes on here, dismiss this, I can make this into a favorite. And it will add it to whatever I select, which in my case I'm selecting bookmark bar. And I save that, and now it's a shortcut right here. So that's one thing I wanted you to see. And if your Chrome starts to act up, meaning being real slow, you've been surfing a lot, you can go to settings again or on the three dots and select history. History will bring out the history tab coming here, which you can select. It'll bring up a new tab. And then if you have a lot of history, you can actually select by clicking those three lines on the left, clear browsing history. It'll bring up another new tab. This one will pop up. They have basic and advanced. I usually choose advanced. And you can select all time on the drop down from time range, and then clear all the history, all data from your Chrome. Once complete, your history will be emptied out. There'll be nothing showing, and you basically have to refresh whatever existing screen you have. That's how you actually can have your home button and your bookmark bar showing, as you may have a lot of shortcuts or bookmarks in your Chrome. So I'll get out of that. Another thing that I was talking about, doing updates. So if I click on Start menu, you select Settings. It'll bring up various things here, which I will expand a bit more. I'll scroll down a little bit and you'll see Updates and Security. This practice should be done at least once a month, but better if you can do it more often. And now we can just click on Check for Updates. Allow that to go through, depending on your internet connection. I'm going to go ahead and pause this in order to actually allow that to go through. So we're retrieving one. And you can see there's a Windows 10 version 20 H2 coming through, and it's starting to retrieve it. I'll pause and come back in a moment. Alright, so the update is actually downloaded. It's going to go through an install process. So enough here. This may prompt to actually, the NERD's now preparing to do the install of the updates. It may prompt to actually restart the system itself. So allow it to run its process and come back when the installation is complete so you can see the end result. Alright, so it's 100% now installed. And we'll see if it actually prompts, which I think it may, for restarting the computer. It's preparing to install, but I'm not completed yet. Gotta give it a little more time there. So we'll see what occurs here. So it will prompt apparently for a restart. So you scroll down a bit and restart the system. So you can see it's making its progress of installing or restarting the system. Possibly might do a progress too on the main screen for its percentage of updates that it retrieved from the internet off of Microsoft's website or Microsoft's database. At this point, you will have to be patient with it to allow it to do its progress. I'm going to pause again because I'm not sure how long this will take. Okay, I'm back, and you can see it's actually configuring the updates for Windows 10. It's going to jump around on this percentage, which may also cause the system to reboot again. Sometimes on updates, you may expect a couple of reboots or more, depending on the updates it's needing. As you can see, it shows on the screen that it's working on updates. Not to turn off the computer because it might take a while. At the bottom, you'll see the PC will start several times because of the updates it's running. This usually will happen during a time since your computer is fresh and new that you've installed Windows 10 Professional on here, possibly with a product key to activate Windows 10 Professional. I showed an earlier video of how to activate it without costing you using massgrave.com itself, which is actually from GitHub. So https://github.com/massgravel/Microsoft-activation-scripts that you can go to, and you'll see the script for PowerShell that you can use on Windows 10, or if you're Windows 11, you can use the terminal on administrative mode to launch that, and then the script you use from the site will be IRM space https://massgrave.dev, short for development, /get, then a space, then use the pipe sign which is above your enter key, which you'll have to use the shift button to use that to activate the pipe, another space, then IEX, which will be for the or an Explorer, triggering then your command prompt. And I think you saw in the prior videos, or one of my videos, of what you just basically press the numbers in the command prompt to then activate Windows, in addition to Office. The most recent one would be Office 0365. So I'm going to pause the video again. This is going to take a while. I'll be back because we're at 5% now. I'm back and it's already at 11% and moving along. I will show you once this completes and restarts, after it restarts and completes, even if it does restart a few times, that there are optional updates which can be for your drivers. Drivers would include your network driver, video driver, your network card driver, anything else that the system is requiring to update on itself. Mine may not because it's a virtual system itself, but it may. So I'll show that after this whole process completes. I'll be back. Another tip I wanted to offer is that when your system is new and you do have at least 500 gigs or higher on your hard drive, preferably a solid state drive, the larger the capacity, the better for the actual updates to take place. Anything smaller would actually be a flag or a problem with the updates to be done. They do take up some of the actual hard drive space, but it's also for the performance. Lately, most computers will have at least 500 gigs or higher capacity inside of the computer itself as far as a hard drive. Many times I've been asked, is there a difference between memory and the hard drive itself? Which there is. Hard drive is actually the storage component of the computer itself that communicates, in a sense, with the system in order to store data, documents, programs, other data itself, pictures, videos, plus other files that will be found on the hard drive itself. Now, the recommendation is to actually have an external hard drive that can be USB connected, or if you're an advanced user, most advanced technicians may actually install an internal additional hard drive in order to actually then save their stuff as far as their data there instead of having an external drive. So it is more on preference, expertise, and experience. I do have an external one which I hook up via USB. It's a fairly large one, at least for what I use. I manage my files by removing anything that's old that's obsolete, by basically deleting them permanently from my computer or off that drive, and helps me manage my stuff as far as my documents, my videos, my music, anything I want to retain there. Best thing to in practice is to have an external drive, not with the host drive, which is your C drive. But the host drive could be any letter. It can be just designated if you're accustomed with that or understand how that works. But by default, or in other words, primarily how it's manufactured on systems, the main drive is C. And that's where Windows actually recognizes for loading data there. External drive is great for saving things so that way in the event that your computer does crash, has performance issues, or the life of the drive is beginning to go down, as the old-fashioned disk drives in the past would have a short lifespan, well, short in the idea of like 5 to 10 years, may start to act up because they're not actually performing well. Memory itself is short-term, temporary data information is collected, like a virtual drive. Say your computer you purchase, you have like 8 to maybe 16 or maybe even doubled that to 32. On binary, everything's doubled. You can start with 4 gigs, go to 8 gigs, or go to 16 gigs and even 32 gigs. Most computers these days, roughly 16 or higher, but they don't use the entire memory. There's virtual memory, and then there's the RAM memory, random access memory, that's installed on a computer's the motherboard. And you can find the information out by using system information from the start menu, and you'll see how much memory you actually have in your computer, virtual memory used, to then know if you need to upgrade your system. Manufacturers vary. So between manufacturers for laptops and or microcomputers like I have, or towers, they all vary per the motherboard as for what is compatible for memory on their computers. So just to be aware of that, when you're purchasing a system, it depends on what it is you're going to do from the computer. If you're mostly doing emailing and chatting or checking out the web a lot, but you're not doing a lot of production work, video production, gaming, things like that, a gamer is going to have a more sophisticated system, more powerful, between the processor, which is the heart of it, the brain of it, the hard drive itself, and the memory, as well as the video card. So all of that involves with what is a necessity. So bear that in mind. The cost will be defined by the memory, hard drive, video card, and the power of the processor itself. All of those things affect the price for the system. More sophisticated and or knowledgeable technicians may go to more expensive possible systems itself or build their own, which I've done myself many years back. So it's all on what you know, find out, and get advice from someone who is experienced and is more informed on a computer in their home or in their office. So a VirtualBox system is actually restarting. I got it 30% doing the installs, and it's going to reboot and continue on installing the updates. It'll go from 30% and may go a little bit faster as it restarts in order to actually get into Windows and complete the rest of the install. So we're back, and you can see it's still at 30%, but it's still moving along. It may pick up a little speed as it completes the rest of the update installs. And you notice how the resolution of my screen increased. Usually when doing these things, when it actually occurs, it's best to actually have definite patience with it and allow time. So if you actually have too much going on, you don't have time for this. It's best to do this probably overnight or a day off. Unless, of course, you're retired and you have plenty of time to let this thing run its course. And do take it seriously when it says on the screen, do not turn off your PC, because it will take a while. Don't shut it down, because it will interrupt the actual update it's trying to perform to keep the computer current, as far as at least for the Windows operations. Okay, it's just 100% on the updates. It's going to restart one more time. Now it's going to finally load up my system. And I'm going to show you what I was speaking about on your memory once we get into my tested VirtualBox, which is loading up. It will look like as if I'm starting over, but it's only because of the updated system. And they're doing the update, as you can see. At this point, it's not going to restart again because it's working on the actual updates themselves to make sure my Windows 10 Professional is current. And then I'll show you the possibility of the optional updates, as well as how to get the information of your system. And Windows made it friendly. And all these other options here you can see about location. I deactivate that. Diagnostic data. I'm not going to have it find my device nor use the speech recognition. Inking and typing is not necessary. I'm looking for advertising ads to get my ID information at all. I can leave that part alone. Diagnostic data I might leave alone and just click accept. And now I'm back on my desktop. So if you want to find out information about your computer, you can simply click in to type here, type info, and you'll see system information come up on your screen. I press enter. And it should load it up. So, as you can see on this screen for system information, I do have Microsoft Windows 10 Professional. If I scroll down a bit, which is a VirtualBox product, as I was explaining earlier, your physical memory, I have 23, physical memory is 23, available physical memory is 20, virtual memory is 27, but then available memory itself is 25, which is what I assigned for this. So my BIOS may show legacy up here, as you see as legacy, but that's also a virtual system I'm utilizing. And I do have a Intel processor assigned for this, which I beefed up enough to actually be an i7 system, which probably doesn't mean anything to you, but don't worry about that. So just wanted you to see this. Now let's go back in settings from start menu. Click on settings again. Scroll down to where you'll find, if I expand this a little bit, you can notice how the mouse converted itself. I go update and security again. And it says it's missing important security and quality fixes. So I'll just do another scan, see for any more updates. And you can see this list is massive because the computer is fairly, in a sense, virtual computer is new, and it automatically starts to do downloads. Just already retrieving. So I'll let that run its course. I think at this point we've covered quite a bit, and I'm going to extend my appreciation for you watching. If you have any further questions, ideas about further topics, feel free to put a comment below. Do like and subscribe to my channel. It'd be highly appreciated. I hope you got some information from this that actually enlightened you a bit to know what you can do on your computer. I wish you well. Keep smiling. Don't worry of what may not be understood, but hopefully it's explained well enough. But if you do have further questions or ideas of what you want to learn from Windows, again, leave a comment below, like and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.